Cheers, everybody. If you think I'm excited now, wait until I've got this down me, then you won't have met that person before. So, what I'm planning on doing is just welcoming you on. I'm not actually going to be giving a demonstration as such, although in the quiet moments when I shut up, I might be drawing some of these lovely sunflowers, and I tried to match the balloons. That was the closest I got. So let's see who else is on. Hi, Deb. Hello, Grace. Oh, excuse me. Hello, Grace. Hi, Jasminka. Hello, Susan. Thank you all for your congratulations and cheers indeed, Michelle. Lovely to see you. And Stacy's on as well. We've got 18 people watching, so some people are watching without saying hello. That's cool. Hi, Heather. Yes, thank you very, very much. The balloons are great. Excellent. What was I going to say? Basically, that's it. And what I did was a very clever, well, I thought very clever. I wanted this to be ring bound so that you could use it flat on your desk when you are doing your pictures. There's nothing worse than, the page flipping over, or you've got to put your line down. Thanks, Brian. Hello to Brenda and Brian. So you can turn the pages on the ring bound, but on the outside it looks like you've got that full cover round. Hello, Jalali from Algeria. That's fabulous. Welcome, welcome. So on your bookshelf it sits there really beautifully with that binding, and you've got the ring binding at the same time. Would you like to have a look inside? Maybe I will show you that. I don't want to spill that sparkling rosé onto my computer. Let's just swap over to that camera and you'll be able to see me and get drawing. I'd love to read you the dedication. It's actually to my children. I dedicate this book to Leonard and Sarah. Oh, excuse me. My children, who are my greatest fans. It's also dedicated to those students who have learnt, laughed, and drawn with me. You have given me more than you know. I know that most of the people on this call have been a student of mine, even if it's over the internet, and you give me so much. You have no idea. Thank you for all your wishes online. I'm being very distracted by the comments that are coming. Thank you so much, Lois. Thank you, David. Yes, I thought it was a good idea. Thank you, Francis. You'll have a drink for me. Thank you very much. So my students, wherever they are in the world, whether I'm sitting opposite them or next to them, or teasing them gently or not so gently, as the case may be, I get a lot of love from my students. It is an absolute privilege for them to allow me into their lives and to cajole them into drawing, to help them through the difficult times where they think difficult times. You know what I mean. I love new people that come in and they think they're terrible, and I say to them, well, you've got to start somewhere, and don't compare yourselves to other people. We're all on this journey for getting the pleasure of doing it for ourselves. I hope that's why you're doing it. In the meantime, you're enjoying it, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the pleasure of enjoying the drawing. That's the reason for doing it. If you get pleasure from looking at the end result, of course, that's wonderful. But actually sitting down and spending some time drawing is just the best way of zoning out the world And at the moment, the world is a pretty good no-go zone, and so drawing is an activity. Are you wanting to get up and celebrate with me? Smudge is next door. Come on. No, no, she's not getting up. So I'll take you through a little bit if you'd like. So we've got the contents, obviously, introduction, what's the book about, who's the book for, bit about my background. You are welcome to ask me questions. I'm going to hang around until about 7, so that's another 50 minutes away. So I'd love to have a chat with you. We don't get much time to chat. You can hear, and most of you have heard before that I like talking. So I'm very happy to answer any questions that you may have of me about my background, about my drawing journey, my art journey, about the book. You always Rick Bindings, Heather. Okay, so this will be a good one for you. So I've got a thing on how to use the book. You can see that is what a QR code is. And you can see in the corners on some of the pages, there's those QR codes. When you use your phone on top of that QR code, you need something called a QR code reader. You will be able to link to a drawing, a demonstration of whatever I'm talking about. If you're getting the PDF, and I know that most of you have bought the bundle, so if you're getting the PDF, you will literally on your computer just be able to click with your mouse on those QR codes, and it will open up the website. Thank you, Sarah. So that's a bit on how to use the book and that sort of thing. Then in the book we've got watch points, and so that's a little word that I've made up, and I really rather like it. Having taught so many people over nearly 20 years, I've come to understand that most people make the same assumptions. I won't even call them errors, because they're not errors until you know what you're doing a little bit and you understand what's going on. And we all have a similar way of thinking when it comes to I've got somebody phoning me in the middle of everything. Thank you, Lee. We have a similar way of thinking about what things are, and most of you will know that is your brain has an assumption of what things look like, and that's what we tend to draw. So instead of that, I'm getting people through the book and through my videos to understand how to observe so that they can draw what they really want to draw and not have it look like their brain thinks it should be. So in each section I've got something called watch points, and what they are things to look out for. It seems as if I've met you before, because I've met so many students before, and I have at the back of each chapter something called watch points, which is something to look out for when you've done the exercise and you don't really know, is it what you were meant to do? How is it different to the exercise that's in the book? How is it different to the exercise in the video? You can come and read these watch points, and it asks you, have you done this? Have you done that? I think you might have done that. And so hopefully that will guide you as well. So then I get on to one of my favorite subjects called shapes of tone, and my students tease me now and they go, what's that? So that's chapter 5. I don't know if you've been looking at your countdown emails. I know I've been bombarding you over the last 10 days with a countdown showing you the cover of all the chapters. So you may have seen what the chapter headings were. That's fine. Cheers. So, drawing with line, which is the way most of us draw, but there's all sorts of ideas in there. There are lots of drawings by me in the book, but there are also drawings by students, sketches by students. So I really loved putting the sketches in from the students. And of course, I do give them an acknowledgement at the back of the book. So you can see that it is in full color. Yes. Then we come to blind contour. Blind contour isn't something that I've done in my Friday videos yet. I was kind of keeping it for the book. Jan says yes, she's been seeing all the things come through. So you'll learn what blind contour is all about. Simple perspective. Now I know people might think that simple and perspective are oxymorons and they don't go together. But in this book I explain it very, very simply so that you can at least get some idea of creating a bit of depth in your work. I have mentioned it in one of my videos, Friday videos, so you will see what that is all about again. So that's about perspective. Cylinders. We haven't done cylinders on a Friday video, and this was a lesson that was taught to me by a lovely, lovely lady by the name of Sheila Price when I first came to Australia, and that's 35 years ago. So about 34 years ago, I started some drawing classes with her. Even though I'd been drawing as a hobby, I did go to drawing classes, and I learned some really lovely stuff. I spent some time doing pastel work with her as well, and she taught me this amazing technique to draw cylinders, which helps you to get a mirror image, a cylindrical image. And there are lots of watch points for your cylinders of what not to do. Negative space is something you should be familiar with. In fact, that drawing of that director's chair was done in my classes with Sheila Price, and I loved doing that little director's chair. So that's all about negative shape. This chair will be familiar to a lot of people. Now you get to do it as a photograph instead of having it in front of you. But my first students for a long while had that big black chair, it wasn't so big actually, on the desk, and they had to draw the negative shapes of these of the chair, and there you can see the result of one of those drawings from one of the students. I also have a chapter on composition, and composition is not something that we really think about that much when we're drawing. We often just draw from a sketch point of view. We just draw whatever it is right in the middle of the page, and we often don't think about how we're going to compose that. But if you look at that little picture in there, again, that's from one of the students, you can see that it is complete right to the edges of the picture rather than just having a little picture in the middle. So that's what composition is all about. And my phone has decided to not show me my video. So let's see if we can get back, because that's how I'm seeing your comments. Somebody else needs to talk. Are there no questions from anybody? Maybe I've missed them. Can't wait to get into my experimenting with drawing. Yes, the chair was a great lesson in negative space. Oh, fantastic, Deb. So, carry on going through to telling you about viewfinders, which is helping you to find a view, which helps you to compose things. And of course, I talk about thumbnails. Book from me wouldn't be the same without thumbnails. Let's see. Jasminka says, since I didn't understand everything, I hope you will transfer the video to YouTube. Yes, I will, Jasminka. Thank you so much for coming on. I must be speaking very, very quickly for you to understand. It is such a pleasure for you to be here. You'll know how to ask questions once you get the book, fair enough. And Susan says, bringing back very happy memories of classes at your old studio. And what nice people you have in your classes. Indeed. So Susan Moyer came to classes with me, and and I'll tell you a secret. Susan Moyer has bought quite a number of my paintings, and I'm very, very honored to have you, Susan, enjoy not only my classes but my paintings on your walls. So there's a bit about thumbnails. And then I do a chapter simply called Step by Step. And what this allows you to do, I guess, is take all the things that you've been working on once you've worked through the chapters, and check the process that you're going through. Sometimes it's a little bit mind-boggling, and what do we do? And we panic, and isn't it funny how we panic over drawings? But we do. I know I'm the same as you. So there's a step-by-step guide of, this is how you start, then you do this, then you do this. And I've got a step through of, how I found a view that I wanted, and how I stepped through to my drawings. Then there's a chapter on where to go from here. So there are lots of fun little bits to do, some different drawing fun. The, what did I call them? The 5 quirky ways to draw and all of that sort of thing. So those fun things at the back of the book are a little bit about that. There are 2 drawings from 2 previous students. So there's some observation, little games for you, and ways to continue. You've started by joining me on my videos, so you'll continue to come onto my videos, hopefully. But for new people who come to my book who don't know me before, hopefully they will join me on my videos. But it also talks about wherever you are in the world, going to classes or meeting with other people. So it's a bit like exercise, where you are much more motivated to exercise if you've made a commitment with other people. So with regards to drawing, making the commitment to go to a drawing class is really good. Not only is it a commitment, but you're actually getting tuition from a teacher, and there's nothing better than that. But you can also, even if you can't find a teacher, you can also make a commitment to have a coffee morning with a friend, or a wine evening with a friend. I'm not known for my drinking. It'll take me a full hour, and I probably won't get through that glass. But it's lovely to have it here and say cheers. So if you are drawing with friends and you've made that commitment to get together for a couple of hours, that will keep you on the drawing path as well. I've then got a chapter on practical information. So right in the beginning, I don't give you much information about what to use other than a pencil and some paper. So I am very big on, it doesn't have to be special anything. If you have the time and you have the money and you have the facilities, the right type of shops, then you can buy special things. But an ordinary pencil and an ordinary bit of paper is the very, very least that you need, and you can draw fantastically just on a piece of printer paper and an HB pencil. So, but I do talk about different materials in here, and I mention different erasers and different types of pencils, of course, and I include information about different types of pen. And there's another beautiful, beautiful sketch from one of the students. And at the back, we've got a very simple glossary. I don't use too many complicated words. And of course, the acknowledgements. I've had many, many people helping me on this. and it has been a long time coming. At the back, you've got the full list of those QR codes, so you don't have to go hunting throughout the book. And right at the very back, something that I'm very proud of, and I would like to read to you. One of the workshops that I conducted a few years ago was for a lovely group of people, and the lady that contacted me, I used to be in a choir with, and she contacted me and said that there's a group of 5 or 6 ladies, I can't remember, and they like to celebrate each other's birthdays by doing something very special. So I arranged to do a drawing workshop for them. And these women arrived, and I was greeting them and saying hello, and I looked at this one lady and I said, "You look very, very familiar." And my friend who had organized the course said to me, "That's Fiona Wood." Now, some of you may not know who Fiona Wood is. I think that she is world-renowned, but she is certainly very, very renowned in WA. She is a fabulous doctor who specialises in burns. She was very, very involved in developing, I think, a way of putting skin on, or artificial skin, to help people with burns. And I think that was after the Bali bombing, which was in 2002. And I asked her if she would like to do a review for me, and I was very, very grateful. And they had such a wonderful time, and I had such an amazing time with them, and I'd like to read that to you. And you might relate. Now, this is something that's going to be interesting, is what I thought, facing down the barrel of knowing how bad I was at drawing. But hey, Karen was amazing. We had a great time with loads of laughs, and by the end of the day, I'd produced something I could say I was proud of. I was the raw material, and Karen was clearly a master at sharing her passion and knowledge while making sure we had great fun along the way. So I think that pretty much sums up my attitude to teaching. I love the fact that people are surprised at what they can do with a little bit of instruction. And often I say to people that they don't consider, is that a picture of smudge? In a second, yes, there is a picture of smudge. I'll show it to you. Sorry, I got interrupted myself. I sometimes say to people that you're not a drawer because you don't draw. And that's very true. We don't draw very often because we have an expectation of how that drawing should be, and therefore we don't do it at all. So I think that I'm getting through to lots of people through these videos that you just need to do it. You just need to do it. Just do it. And take pleasure in what you're doing. Hello, Erin. Nice to see you here. Is that a picture of smudge? Yes, there is a picture of smudge in the book. Let's have a look. Thank you, Lois. That is a very, very lovely acknowledgement. Is that the picture you saw? I'll hold that up. So the reason that picture of smudge is there is because smudge is in the glossaries, and there's a bracket there which says also Karen's dog. So I thought that was really, really lovely. I would also like to give a shout out to, while we're talking about people involved with the book, I'd love to give a shout out to, can't think straight, it's the wine, to Stephen Castledine, who is is a wonderful, wonderful graphic designer who spent lots of time over designing this book, going to and from. He was extremely patient with me. Being a first-time author, I think I sent it for design a little bit earlier than I should, and we still had quite a few reviews, and he was very patient and gracious in correcting and changing the wording. We didn't have to change the design. I am very privileged to count him as one of my friends, as his wife, Michaela Castledine, who is a fabulous artist in Perth. And I will include a shout out to Imogen Castledine. It's a big family affair, who is my virtual assistant, and she helped me get everything together so that you could do your pre-orders and get them all running. And she was behind the scenes today and making sure that at 6 o'clock it changed from pre-orders to real orders. So those pre-order specials are no longer available. And talking about pre-orders, I'll take that away because of the reflection. Talking about pre-orders, I cannot thank you enough. I am overwhelmed by the number of people that have ordered the book in the pre-orders. People have been ordering 1, 2, and 3 copies. I have well over 100 people who've pre-ordered through the system. I've got at least another 20 people who have asked for extras from me. So I'm well on my way to selling all of these. As promised to all of you who are not in Australia, sorry, I'm distracted by these lovely comments. Yes, I am smiling and smiling and smiling. I've forgotten what I was saying. What was I saying? I've completely lost the plot. Again, I'm blaming the wine, even though I've had only a few sips. So what I'm going to do now is stop talking for a little bit, and I'm going to start drawing a little bit. And I've got these lovely flowers. You actually can't see. I'll point that to the camera. Can you see? A little bit. It's not in very much light. And I'm going to face that to me. Ah, thank you, Grace. That's what I was talking about. I have promised that every single overseas person, as well as people out of Perth, will be getting this book delivered to them. I am paying for shipping because it's an absolutely a wonderful privilege to have you guys on board. Unfortunately, I cannot carry on paying for shipping now that the pre-orders are over. But of course, you can still get the PDF, which has no charge attached to shipping. Who knows what's going to happen with post all over the world. I am couriering the books to South Africa because I know that the post is almost non-existent there. My brother, who lives in Johannesburg, will then courier those books on to you. So thank you very much. You will be receiving your physical books, as will you, Jasminka. I just can't guarantee when they will get there. I have got a couple of UK orders as well, and I haven't checked the other addresses, but I think there might be a few sprinkled throughout the world. So thank you very much. I am fairly overwhelmed by all of your support. Thank you. Deb says she's been smiling throughout this and my beaming all the way through. I can't help myself. And it's not only the wine that's doing it. Come on, come and get picked up. Smudge. Come and say hello to the people. Whoops, because they can see you. She's been shorn, so she doesn't look like the dog that's in the. Hello, darling. No, I love you too. I do. She doesn't look like the book that's in the picture that's in the book anymore. So I'm going to put her down, and I'm going to start drawing. Hello. I've ignored her for most of the day, unfortunately, getting ready with everything. Okay, Jasminka, I don't understand what you're saying, but you will be getting the PDF soon. I will be sending out the email with your PDF and with your links to the online course. You should be able to log into the course this evening, but I will send you an email as well so that you've got all of that happening for you. There's a camera up there. Is this very, very strange? She's giving me nice kisses. It doesn't matter if it's in PDF. Great. Sometimes the PDF will be easier, but I do know that with drawing books, I certainly like to have it, open in front of me while I'm working. The other thing about having it open in front of you instead of a PDF is that if you want to get away from your computers, but short of not having the physical book, that PDF is going to be tops. Okay, I'm going to draw a little bit. I'm going to have another sip of champagne. And I am going to glance up at my phone every now and then to see if there's comments. I probably won't be able to stand the silence. So maybe I should even put some music on. Should I put some music on? Who says yes for some music? Let me know in the comments. So I'm going to draw those flowers. And I can't help the teacher in me telling you that I'm actually doing it on watercolor paper because I might add some color from my watercolor pencils. Which way around? That's easier for you to see, isn't it? Okay. Isn't it funny that I don't mind when I'm drawing and teaching you and I'm talking 10 to the dozen, I'm in my zone. But now that I'm actually just drawing and you're all watching me, I'm getting a bit self-conscious. Okay, so Jan says, yes please, though I enjoy your stories too. I promise you, Janice, I'm not going to put the music on so loud that you can't hear me. Let's see what I can find. On the travel drawing course, I've actually put some music there because I do shut up some of the time, and the music that I've put in those videos belongs to my brother. So he is a musician, and he has some really fantastic music, and he's given me lovely permission to put that under some of the videos. Now there's a particularly lovely record that I'm looking for. You can see me scrolling through the music. There it is. It's probably not going to play because I've got my media down. Maybe I should have put it on the computer. Can you hear that? Now I can't see your comments anymore. No, I can't put my music on and look at my comments on the screen because then I hear myself. So let's see if I can see my comments, your comments somewhere else. Is it too loud? You can hear the music. Good. Please let me know if it's too loud. This is an album by a gentleman from Sydney, and his name is, good question. I was going to say John Smith. I'm sure it can't be John Smith. John Mills. And the album is called Still Gazing at the Moon. and it is absolutely beautiful. So I'm keeping my eye on those questions. Doesn't anyone want to ask me any stories? Thank you, Grace. Have a great weekend too. Yes, Deb, I think the questions will come when you're working through the book. So for those of you that have bought the bundle and are looking at the course, there is place on the course for you to comment and ask questions there as well. And I have invited everyone to put their pictures on the Get Drawing Facebook group as well. So that would be lovely. Thanks for joining me, everyone. This foreshortening is very difficult. And I didn't put my glasses on. Sorry, Deb, I'm not sure that I understand the question. Can you look at the replay on the course if not available to watch? The course is a series of 11 different lessons, and you can use that course and watch those videos as many times as you want. So it is much more clearly defined. It's not just like the videos that I do on a Friday. So you will be able to sign in, and it shows you how far you are in watching the video or looking at one of the segments. So it'll become clearer when you look at it, but it's not just one video. So there's 11 different lessons in there. There's 11 different little videos. So each with either a message to you or a demonstration. So good question. Thank you, Jan. It was lovely having you in the class, Jan, and we miss you. I really enjoyed your work and your photographs. Are you still taking photographs? So Jan is one of my long-standing students who used to come on a Monday evening. Love the dancing petals idea. Ah, the flower petals are dancing on the page. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Yes, I think you're right, especially these ones. These ones are all the foreshortened ones. I'm glad you can't see the real thing because it's not very accurate to the reality. But I've learned not to worry about that anymore because it's still accurate to what a sunflower looks like, hopefully. Now, there's a real foreshortened one coming up here. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh yes, Jan, you said that you were going to Karajini again. As you know, I'm very jealous because I know quite a few people were up at Karajini. There must have been crowds there. So that's a foreshortened one that I made that long. So for those of you who are not in Australia, WA, where I live, is doing incredibly well in terms of having kept the virus out. And we're stopping people from other states, and the rest of the world for that matter, from visiting WA. And so all the WA tourist spots have been filling up because that's the only place people can travel. Yeah, I'm sure the campgrounds were full. Yep. I have to say, I used a Karajini picture in one of the demonstrations in the travel course, and it has become one of my all-time favorite places in the world. I really understood things a little bit differently in my life. I know it sounds a bit cliched, but I had some very profound feelings there. In Australia, the Aborigines talk about a connection to country. That is a very spiritual thing for them. And it was the first time that I really understood what that meant. I don't purport to be to know what they feel, but I felt an amazing connection when I went to Karajini. And these gorges are millions and millions of years old, and it was the effect of lying in the pool. Okay, so Susan, do you want to explain yourself? I can remember lying in one of the pools at the bottom of the gorge, and it was freezing, freezing, freezing. It's called Circular Pool, and it's freezing because the sun hardly ever goes there. And I can remember looking up at the sky and the gorge walls and thinking how tiny, tiny, tiny and infinitesimally small I was in time, you know, the amount of time that I spend on this earth, that we all spend on this earth, against the millennia that these rocks have been and water has been in the world. And it was quite quite a beautiful feeling, actually. It was a very peaceful and calming feeling. Circular Pool is closed now. Oh my goodness. That's a very good microphone, Deb, if you could hear Smudge drinking. I'm sorry to hear that Circular Pool is closed. There's the Chila Plain Station I haven't been to, but yes, the Hammersley Ranges as well. So Susan's not going to explain, or maybe it's the video hasn't caught up with me yet. If Susan doesn't explain what she means by waking up in Karajini, I will. There she goes. That makes me want to cry, Susan. I am so overwhelmed and so touched that people take such pleasure in my paintings. It is an absolute privilege. When people say to me, how can I stand selling my paintings? How can I stand having other people buy my paintings and I don't have them anymore? And it's for that very, very reason that I love it. I'm getting goosebumps. The fact that my work, both my teaching, I think I might get a bit teary here, both my teaching and my painting brings so much to people. And people tell me that. I've been getting the most outstanding emails from you guys. Thank you so much, letting me know what a difference that the classes have been making. And Susan, I know, has told me before that she lies back and enjoys the scenery around her from my painting. So it is absolutely a pleasure. I'm nearly going to say namaste, but I'm not going to. How's that flower looking? Not too bad, is it? In the middle of all my talking. Should I add a bit of color so that you can see me adding some color in the last 10 minutes while you guys are with me? Ah, yes, Jan, I forgot that you had one. How could I forget, my dear? Yeah, I like that one too. It's lovely when my students buy my work. Well, it's lovely when anybody buys my work. Let me be honest. But it is such an honor. I got to see one of Susan's paintings the other day because we took it to be framed. It was a canvas that she bought that wasn't framed and she wanted to get it framed, and it was such a pleasure to see it. Again, it was really lovely. Okay, I'm bringing out my watercolor pencils, and I bet you I haven't got any yellows here. Look at that. What have I done with all my yellows? Are they lying here somewhere? There you go, found them. Excuse all the noise. It is really a pleasure to share this little corner of my home with you, and just have a chat. I know I'm the one doing most of the chatting, but thank you guys for sharing this with me. So these are beautiful watercolor pencils. I absolutely love them. I typically would put the color everywhere before wetting them, but I will show you because I can't help myself, as I said before. It's also quite there's some of these petals that are a bit lemony. They're a bit cool, not all this deep red, not red, yellow. I used to work with tissue paper, and the very first tissue paper painting I did was sunflowers. So I have a long history with sunflowers. I keep on looking at the screen to see where my flower is, forgetting that it's right up here in front of me. Real dirty, rich brown, browny black in there. Haven't really got the right colours, but that's never held me back. So I'll show you a little bit of wetting that. I've got a water pen here. There's a fair few brands of these. I think this one, is this one a Derwent? No, this is called the Art Studio, whatever that is. Sometimes I like taking the colour directly off the pencil too. I have no idea what you can see. I can't see myself at all. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jennifer. That's lovely. And Leslie, thank you so much for being with me to celebrate. This is a long an amazing milestone. I'll share something personal with you in the last 5 minutes. My late dad was an artist. So I grew up with his paintings and his love of art as well. And I suppose I learnt a little bit by watching him, but we never had any direct teaching. And sadly, he passed away about 7.5 years ago. He had an amazing life. He was in his 90s. And about a week before he passed away, he asked me, we knew because he had lymphoma, he asked me what I had ahead of me and what I was going to do. And I said to him, I'm going to write a drawing book. So the idea was in my head 7 years ago, if not before. And he always used to marvel at the fact that I could teach. I love teaching as much. And he said, how can you teach drawing in a book? And I said, don't worry, I'll do it. So this book has been 7 years in the making, and there's been quite a bit of procrastination and quite a bit of soul searching and heart going, oh, do we need another drawing book, and should I, and am I good enough, and all of those things that we all sometimes struggle with. And it's been beautiful. Thank you, Jasmika. That's a very, very lovely thing for you to say. Yes, David, the water pen is extremely useful for travel sketching. And Jan says she remembers that when I first started preparing my book, it's really funny, there's a lady that was in the class when Jan was there. In fact, one of her sketches is in the book. And she said to me, right, I'm going to remind you every single Monday night, I'm going to ask, how far are you with the book? Do you remember that, Jan? Yep, Janice, he would be very proud of me. He was very proud of my artwork, and I must say that never in my life would I have even guessed that I would speak to him as one artist to another. We had an exhibition together, and we used to talk about our art, and we both got an enormous amount of pleasure out of something that we never expected in our wildest dreams. I keep talking about privilege, and it's exactly the word. I can't think of another better word. It was a privilege to not only be his daughter, but to paint and talk with him artist to artist. Guys, I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I've actually really, really enjoyed that. I am going to continue on with it, but not tonight. I'm going to say one last thank you to you, and I'm going to do that and say cheers to you all. And my usual sign off. Thank you for being here and celebrating with me. I can't wipe the grin off my face. My usual sign off. Get drawing. Bye bye.